Hello and welcome to Flat Out Helpful. My name is Jared, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about composites. Flat Earth and photography, like oil and water, two things that just don't mix. Flat Earthers say so much stupid stuff about photography, and as a photographer myself, it just drives me crazy. Composites are just one more thing that Flat Earthers are wrong about when it comes to photography. In this video, I want to explain why a composite like this is a valid photo. I'm also going to explain why NASA and other space agencies take composite photos of the Earth and other celestial bodies. And I'm also going to explain what composites are in general. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Something we should establish right away is that not all photos of Earth, be it partial or full, are composites. Not that there is anything wrong with a composite photo in general, but that claim is just not true. There is a good handful of non-composite photos of the Earth, both from film and digital mediums, as well as old and new. If anything, the Apollo program has provided us with the most single-frame photos of the Earth to date. There are also more contemporary photos like those from China's Chang'e 5T1 lunar lander, Israel's Bereshit lunar lander, and Northrop Grumman's Mission Extension Vehicle 1. If you don't already know what a composite photo or image is, it is generally an image made up of more than one image or photo, either for a manipulative effect or to include details in a single image that one photo cannot show. For a detail-oriented example, this is a single photo of the shelf in my recordings. It's taken from behind the camera and at a wide enough angle to see the whole shelf. If we zoom in, you can see the resolution on these shot glasses is just about okay. Now here is a 75 megapixel 17 image composite of the shelf taken with the same camera, but this time in front of the recording camera and at a slightly tighter angle. If we zoom in on the shot glasses again, you can see their resolution has improved, and that is because we took the photos that make up this composite closer and more zoomed in. Even though this is just the top section of the shelf, I could have taken even more photos to make it match the coverage of the single wide-angle photo, which would result in a much more detailed image of the shelf. This is very much the same principle composites of Earth rely on. Regarding a composite of Earth being a genuine photograph, it's a little bit more complicated. The blue marble is a composite made of real photographic data, but is not a photograph. NASA does not treat them as such or say they are, and claiming NASA says the blue marble is a photograph is dishonest. They are not trying to hide anything with these, and are open to the processes behind their creation. The blue marble globe images we are familiar with are mostly for public outreach, but the data gathered in the creation of these has real uses for science. Blue marble composites are the results of various polar orbiting satellites taking many long panoramic photos of the Earth's surface as they orbit from pole to pole. As they orbit, the Earth rotates under them, so over time they image more of the Earth's surface. These photos come out in flat strips at first and must be stitched together. They are then projected around a 3D ball to represent the shape of the object originally photographed. This then allows a virtual camera to be placed anywhere, allowing the composite to be seen from different distances and angles, which is why the blue marble images all look different. They are also touched up a bit to make their colors pop and look nice, because as I said before, these are mostly public outreach images. So, the blue marble really is not a photo of the Earth, but it is representative of the Earth and is not CGI. The creation of the blue marble is still quite a complicated thing, and I plan on making a video that covers the blue marble in the future. Now, there is another composite of Earth that is quite common, and flat earthers tend to ignore these a lot and just focus on the blue marble because it's an easy argument. Composite photos of the Earth taken by geostationary weather satellites are the bane of flat earthers. Geostationary weather satellites like Himawari 8 and GOES 17 use the Advanced Baseline Imager and take photos of the Earth that represent its true shape. They use multiple linear scanned images to create a single, high-resolution full globe image. In fact, because the images are such high resolution, you can see the oblateness of the Earth in them. To demonstrate this, I have taken a full resolution image of the Earth from Himawari 8 and cut it in half lengthwise and vertically. If the claim that these images show the oblateness of the Earth is true, we should see a difference in the images at the edge of the center when they are put together. The top image should be wider than the bottom, as the top is the equatorial width of the Earth, while the bottom is the length from pole to pole. Let's zoom in for a closer look, shall we? Well, would you look at that? There is certainly a difference in the circumference from pole to pole compared to the equator. It's not even that big of a difference, and this is from a 121 megapixel image, which is 11,000 by 11,000 pixels. That is pretty big. That should give you some insight as to why you can't see the oblateness in a standard HD photo of Earth. It's just such a small detail that those kinds of photos can't show it. But enough about that. As far as photographs go and the subject of something being genuine, composites from satellites like GOES 17 and Himawari 8 are considered photographs. They are taken with a camera and stitched together, retaining the original shape of the object photographed with little to no modifications. For reference, the MEV-1 photo from earlier was taken from geostationary orbit at a much lower focal length than what the advanced baseline imager uses. The entire face of the Earth is visible to them, so they can image that while keeping its natural oblate shape, whereas Terra, one of the satellites that takes images for the blue marble, has a much lower polar orbit. This means the Earth takes up its entire imaging frame, but it can resolve much more details on the surface of the Earth due to its closeness. The geostationary weather satellites don't need to be close because they are looking at the weather, and constant coverage of the whole face of the Earth is very effective for this. Composites are also common in astronomy. There are many mosaics of distant nebulas and galaxies that have been produced by the Hubble Space Telescope. Mosaics allow Hubble to show much more of a distant object at a tight angle than what one image would, allowing more details to be seen. Also, many different wavelengths may be composited into a single image to show more details of an object compared to an RGB image. This is known as narrowband imaging. Overall, saying something is fake or not genuine because it is a composite, especially in relation to photos of the Earth, is just stupid. Yes, there are composites that don't count as photos, however, differentiation of these in absolute terms is rather easy. Both the blue marble and Himawari 8 images are composites, but the blue marble is a representation of Earth, not a photo of it, like images from Himawari 8 are. Composites are used a lot in landscape photography to capture more area of a scene than just one photo can, and are absolutely valid in photography. Photos of the Earth and space are no different. Well, looks like we're at the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Flat Out Helpful, and if you did, make sure to like and consider subscribing, as it encourages me to make more content and lets YouTube know that people are enjoying my stuff. Also, I have a Patreon page if you wish to support the channel, and I will leave that in the video description. Also in the video description, I will leave a link to my Twitter page, as I post about NASA, NASA events, space, and other related stuff quite often on there. Thank you so much for watching, and have a flat out awesome day.